This mother of two is married to a man who, on the outside, seems like a catch, a former athlete turned high school teacher. They live in a nice house and have a solid routine. To everyone looking in, they're the ideal suburban family. But behind closed doors, not so much. Their relationship has problems. She confides in friends about her husband's temper, the fights, the way she feels like something is off. She complains to everyone, but not her family or husband. She endures the torture, abuse, and assault from her husband, and then one day she's just gone. No calls. No goodbye letters. No signs of a struggle. Just disappears. Gone. And her husband? Well, let's just say he doesn't act like a man whose wife is missing. Because while her family is panicking, calling hospitals, searching for answers, this guy? He's busy moving his teenage girlfriend into their home. Yeah, not even a week after his wife vanishes, the high school student he's been secretly involved with is suddenly sleeping in the missing woman's bed, cooking in her kitchen, wearing her jewelry. And yet for years, no one does anything about it. A vanishing act no one believed. Here's where things get suspicious. Her husband tells everyone she just left, packed a bag, walked away from her kids, her home, her whole life. Except there's a problem. Her purse? Still at the house. Her bank account? Never touched. Her passport? Sitting right there. And let's be real, what kind of mother just disappears without a trace and never once reaches out to her children? Her friends don't buy it. Her family definitely doesn't buy it. But the police? They shrug it off. People, especially women, went missing all the time, and unless there was a body, authorities weren't exactly quick to jump into action. So, just like that, the case goes cold. The husband? He goes on with his life, remarries, starts over, and for nearly 40 years, it seems like he got away with it. Until a journalist decided to dig where no one else would. Many years later, a reporter starts investigating the case for a true crime podcast. And when I say this podcast blew up, I mean millions of downloads, people demanding justice, news stations picking up the story. Suddenly, a case that had been ignored for decades was all over the headlines. And this is where things start unraveling. People come forward, neighbors, friends, even the woman who was once the teenage girlfriend who by now is an adult speaks out. And what she reveals, chilling, because for the first time, the world hears what really happened behind closed doors. She talks about the isolation, how he kept her hidden away, making sure she had no one else to turn to. She describes the manipulation, the way he convinced her that his wife was never coming back, that she belonged with him now. And then, the most unsettling part, she shares conversations that had haunted her for years. How he used to tell her that his wife was in the way, that their life together would be easier if she was gone. How, right before the disappearance, he promised that soon they'd be together without obstacles. And then, his wife vanishes. Just like that. No explanation. No warning. Just gone. It's as if everything he hinted at actually happened. And she's been carrying that weight ever since. According to her, this wasn't some tragic accident. This wasn't a missing persons case. This was planned. She claims the man she once trusted had been talking about getting rid of his wife before she even disappeared. There were rumors of a hitman, whispers of a late-night argument, and a whole lot of questions that had gone unanswered for too long. Finally, with all this new attention, authorities had no choice but to take another look. And this time, they weren't so quick to dismiss things. Justice, but too late. Nearly 4 decades after his wife vanished, the husband is arrested. The trial drags on for years. Nobody, no hard evidence, just a series of disturbing coincidences and witness testimonies. Years later, The verdict is finally in. Guilty. He's sentenced to 24 years in prison, meaning he'll likely spend the rest of his life behind bars. But here's the thing, his wife's body? Still missing. To this day, no one knows where she is. And he's not talking. Not now. Not ever. So, yeah, justice was served, but was it really? Because while he's sitting in prison, her family is still out there, waiting for answers they may never get. What do you think? This case is one of those that makes you wonder how many other stories like this are out there, just waiting to be uncovered? Do you think there's more to this? Was someone else involved? And most importantly, will the truth ever come out?